Another question, you've alluded to this to some extent, so it may not need to be a long answer, but what do you see as the differences in the new commission, particularly in your area, with the old commission and with Barnier's commission, if you'd call it that?
Well, I wasn't around in the old commission, but what old commission hands, I think, would say to me is that the greater focus that has been delivered through this new structure, we've got a new structure of vice presidents,
Yeah.
thank you, vice presidents. So that's leading to more coordination between different commissioners and different parts of the commission. And I think what people would say in the past was that it was a more silo-based system with more turf battles between different parts of the system. And my experience so far is that we're actually working well together. So on my Capital Markets Union, I probably had 7 commissioners working with me on it. And I think that is a good change. I think the other main difference I'd point to is that the senior vice president's been put in charge of trying to make sure that any regulatory proposals are very well considered and we're not legislating overly. All bureaucracies I've ever worked in have a tendency to legislate, as do politicians, because it kind of proves they're alive. I have a slightly different view, which is, you should legislate when you need to, and if you don't need to legislate, leave it alone, because ceaseless pulling up of the bean to see whether it's rooting isn't very healthy. And I do, the point I tried to make earlier, I think businesses need stability if they're going to be able to invest and grow. So I think having a kind of valve on the system, which we now have with Frans Timmermans, the Senior Vice President, so 1/5 as many new legislative proposals, I think that's a good sign.